It was nearly 1 a.m. in downtown Los Angeles. The city was quieter than usual, no honking horns, no rumbling buses, just the steady hum of neon signs and the faint splash of occasional drizzle against pavement. Most of the world was asleep. But not Tom Hanks. He moved quietly down Spring Street, hoodie pulled over his head, hands tucked into his coat pockets. He did this sometimes, walked when the world became too loud. When the cameras flashed too often. When articles twisted words. When his smile felt more like a mask than a mirror of his soul. Tonight was one of those nights. He passed a closed bookstore, its windows fogged, a neon closed sign buzzing with age, and paused. Inside were the ghosts of 1,000 untold stories, and Tom had made a life out of bringing stories to life. But lately, the stories felt heavy. His latest film had sparked debates. Commentators called him too old, too sentimental, too perfect to be real. But Tom wasn't perfect. Not even close. And tonight, he wasn't a Hollywood icon. He was just a man trying to feel human again. Then he saw him. Huddled beneath the awning of a shuttered bakery across the street sat a man. Mid-40s. A military jacket draped over his shoulders like a memory too heavy to remove. His head was lowered, hands wrapped around a styrofoam cup that might have held coffee, or rainwater. A cardboard sign sat beside him. The ink faded but still legible, U.S. Army veteran, not looking for money. Just some dignity. Tom's steps slowed. He'd seen homeless vets before. All of L.A. had. It was a painful fixture of the city. Soldiers returned home to broken systems and empty promises. But there was something in this man's stillness that struck Tom differently. It wasn't desperation. It was the profound, crushing weight of being forgotten. Tom crossed the street. "Mind if I sit?" he asked softly. The man looked up. His eyes were sunken but sharp. He blinked against the drizzle and let out a breath like he hadn't spoken in hours. "Free country," he replied. "Still is, I think." Tom sat down beside him on the cold concrete. No fanfare. No introductions. Just two men under a broken sign, sharing the silence. After a moment, Tom spoke. "I'm Tom." The man chuckled dryly. "No kidding." Tom smiled. "You got a name?" "Eli," the man said. "Eli Reeves. That's a strong name." "Used to be," Eli replied. Tom looked at the man beside him. The jacket was stained. His boots were worn through at the soles. His beard was days, maybe weeks, old. "You served?" Tom asked, though he already knew the answer. "Yeah," Eli said. "2 tours Iraq, 1 in Afghanistan." "Medic. That's no small job." Eli shrugged. "Saved lives. Watched others die. Came back with all my limbs but none of my clarity." Tom nodded slowly. "Thank you for your service." Eli scoffed. "You're the first to say that tonight." There was another pause. The rain fell lightly, barely touching them under the awning. A cat darted across the street. Somewhere far off, a siren wailed. "You know," Eli said, "we used to watch your movies in the barracks. Saving Private Ryan hit different after the real thing." Tom's throat tightened. "You ever see it?" Eli continued. "Up close, I mean. The chaos. The blood. Tom shook his head. Only on a set. You're lucky, Eli muttered. They sat in silence for a while, then Tom asked, "What happened after you got back?" Eli let out a breath that carried 1,000 invisible wounds. Came home. Wife was gone within a year. Said I wasn't the man she married. She wasn't wrong. Couldn't sleep. Couldn't work. VA waitlists. Therapy denied. Filed claims. Got denied again. Lived with my brother till his patience ran out. Been on the streets 3 years now. Tom closed his eyes. Not out of pity. Out of helplessness. I'm sorry, he said. Don't be, Eli replied. Just remember me. That's all I ask. A gust of wind swept through the street. Tom shivered and reached into his coat. He pulled out a granola bar and offered it. Eli took it hesitantly, like it might vanish. Thanks. You still write? Tom asked suddenly. Eli blinked. What? You said you were a medic. But you also strike me as someone who tells stories. Eli laughed bitterly. Used to write screenplays. Had one almost optioned once. But when the VA check bounced and the laptop got stolen, I figured my story didn't matter. Tom looked him in the eyes. It does. No offense, Tom, Eli said, but stories don't feed you. They don't put roofs over your head. Maybe not, Tom replied, but they remind you you're still human. And sometimes, that's the first step. Eli studied him for a long moment. You're not like I thought you'd be. Good or bad? Real. Tom smiled. Look, I can't promise anything, he said. I'm not here to play savior. But if you want to write again, I can help. Eli stared at him, stunned. You serious? Dead. You're not just saying that because you feel guilty sitting next to a bum. Tom's expression didn't waver. You're not a bum. You're Eli Reeves. Army veteran. Writer. Human being. Tears welled in Eli's eyes, but he blinked them away. I don't have a phone. No address. No resume. Nothing. Then we start with a pen and a page. Tom pulled out a notebook, one he always carried, and tore out a clean sheet. He handed it over with a pen. First scene. First sentence. Whatever you got. Eli looked down at the paper like it was gold, and then he wrote, one sentence, then another. It wasn't clean. It wasn't perfect. But it was his. For the first time in years, Eli Reeves was writing. Tom Hanks didn't leave him that night. They talked until the sun rose. About life. About war. About fathers and fears. About what it meant to matter. Tom made a call. Arranged for Eli to be taken to a shelter, a good one, with support staff and counselors. He didn't make a social media post, he didn't call the press, he just made sure that one man, one soldier, didn't disappear. 6 months later, a short story appeared in a national magazine, The Bench Beneath the Neon, by Eli Reeves. It detailed a night under the LA drizzle, a conversation with a stranger, and the slow return of something called hope. People cried, publishers called. Eli got an apartment, a new laptop, and eventually, a book deal. He never let go of that torn notebook page. framed it. First line.